Have you ever stumbled onto something so wonderfully perfect that it stopped you in your tracks? A conversation you overheard that said exactly what you needed to hear, a song that found you at just the right moment, a chance encounter perhaps that changed the direction of your life. Well, that's serendipity. Serendipity. That's serendipity. The universe's way of reminding us that not everything meaningful is planned. And this month's Do Radio track is built entirely on that idea. You see, at Do Radio, we've been talking a lot about serendipity. I just can't say that word. Why choose that word? Serendipity. You see, at Do Radio, we've been talking a lot about serendipity lately, mostly because of complaints. People keep saying you can't download the shows, you can't pause them. But that's kind of the point. That's the design. You see, Do Radio isn't a playlist. It's an experience. It's like walking into a pub and overhearing two strangers deep in conversation. You don't know who they are, but something about the exchange pulls you in. You stay, you listen, and afterwards you leave with something you didn't even know you needed. That's the spirit behind this track. And if you stick around until the end of the video, I'll play the full track for you. It's not a composition in the traditional sense. It's a collection of moments. Snatched voices, random fragments, things that shouldn't belong together but somehow do, at least I hope they do. Now, I'm recording this video during the songwriting process. Now, I have the raw ingredients, but I haven't yet made the final track, so this could be a complete disaster. But hopefully, these random fragments of sound aren't simply chaotic, they're human. So in this video, I want to take you behind the scenes of that process, of my process, and how I built this track out of the chaos, how I learned to let go of control, and perhaps more importantly, how serendipity might be the missing ingredient in your creative life too. So when I first started composing this song, I made a decision that at the time it felt uncomfortable. I was going to go into it with no plan, no structure, no safety net. Now, usually, as I said in last month's video, I begin with an intention. Maybe it's an emotion, it could be a chord progression, a key, a rhythm, some sort of story I want to tell. But this time, I wanted the story to find me. So I started recording random snippets, fragments of conversations from the shows this month, without me choosing those. The crackle of a late night radio. I've got a cello, I love the cello, a piano, a sort of bass sound, all sounds that I like, but with no real plan as to how they go together. Let me play you some of those snippets first. So I collected some of the sounds on this fantastic machine here. This bass noise. There's a cello where I did play the notes here. Beautiful sound. There is a pad here. There's a piano where I just sort of randomly ad-libbed. So I love this as like a kind of dusty old piano. It sounds like it's been recorded in an enormous kind of room. Some crackles in there as well. I love those. Really goes with the whole Do Radio vibe, I think. So it's not really a melody, it's more of a kind of feeling, I guess. And we have some chords which I played in again. Beautiful, evocative, emotional. So they're the sounds that I collected on this machine, and then on the computer I have some more. Play this. Yeah, this is a saxophone. Oh my god, how far away from a saxophone does that sound now? When I was listening back to these sections, everything sounded dark, I guess. You know, cello, bass, the chords are quite low. I wanted something quite bright to give me a bit of contrast, so I got a glockenspiel, taking you right back to school. And I allowed the computer to write these notes. So there's a lot of randomness in this. Put on a few effects and it sounds like this now. From glockenspiel to electric guitar. Yeah, I like that a lot. A couple of things I did with the voices. Okay, so the first one, I love this. So I have here a recording from the show that I've done with Mike Dixon this month. Genius. Career out of being creative. We'll unpack how jazz principles can transform your approach to business. Okay, yeah, so that is my voice. That is not any of the guests, but it is the intro to Mike Dixon. A fantastic show we had this month. But what I then did was chop it up and make it become something a bit different. So I love that, using the human voice as rhythm. If you add in some more drums. Really like that. Let's give it a go. I'm a little bit hesitant because I just don't really know. I've been trying to get this to work for the last couple of hours and it's not really worked. But anyway, here goes. Stage one. Can we get any sound out of it?
Hey there,
Kat,
a warm welcome
we
to
can hear.
What's Happened Here. A new
And I've seen it happen, and it's joyous to watch. And it feels like play.
The label, those guys got a setup in the studio. We need the setup, and so we're slowly.
Can we stop talking about me? Why is it still going to the start? That's what I mean. Why is this not working?
Discusses technology that shapes lives and
I don't understand.
The depression that he was going through. And when,
almost waiting for the words to tumble out of my mouth that I already know are going, almost waiting for the words to tumble out of my mouth that I already know are going. Like, it really has.
Okay. So it didn't seem to work exactly as I was planning it to work, but actually I think there's some good stuff in there. Literally, I had all the shows from this month. So that is 8 shows a week, 32 shows. I had them all laid out. So 32 hours. And I was using this machine to randomly select bits. And I kept getting my voice. It was so annoying. It's meant to be totally random. It kept coming out saying, and here's Jon Kaye. Okay, I will try and reduce the amount of me in this track so that we have a bit of a fair representation. Anyway, that's what it did. That's the raw ingredients, and as I'm recording it, that's basically all I've got. So there's not much structure. I'm trying to think about that literally right now. So when I was playing with all of those snippets, it doesn't feel right, at least to me. It's like kind of walking into a room blindfold. Like there's this strange kind of panic that comes when you surrender control. You start to question yourself. What if nothing meaningful comes out of this random collection? What if it is all just, frankly, a little bit shit? And that's the point where I guess most of us stop. In creativity and in life, we crave order. We want to predict, to control, and to make sense of everything. But in doing so, we often kill the very spark that makes things come alive. And then it happened. A fragment of those chopped up voices sounded really good to me. And I love using the human voice in kind of weird ways. And that was the moment, I think, that I realized that this track wasn't something I was making. It was something I was discovering. That's what serendipity does. It rewards curiosity, not control. Right, I'm back. Hopefully I'm wearing the same t-shirt, but this is actually me a few days in the future from when I recorded the bit you've just heard. So I've now been playing with some of the sounds that I showed you, and I've started to craft it into something that is a bit more coherent. The real challenge I found, though, was that I didn't want to force this into a shape. So instead of kind of composing in the traditional sense, I treated each sound kind of like a person entering the room. And that's when things got complicated because serendipity isn't convenient. It doesn't follow your schedule. Turns out that some of those sounds I played you just did not sound good together. The voices overlapped. There was too much kind of low end noise. The timing wasn't quite right on some of them. I have to say I was tempted more than once to just throw it all away and start again. This great idea I had just wasn't really working. But it struck me how much of our modern world is designed against serendipity. Everything we consume is algorithmically curated. We're surrounded by recommendations based on what we already like. It's comfortable, but it's predictable. And when everything is designed to match your taste, you stop being surprised. And the moment you stop being surprised, in my view, you stop growing. So I leaned into the discomfort. I let the clashes stay as much as I could. I allowed moments of silence. I even embraced the mistakes, the breaths, some of those glitches that I found that I have no idea where they came from, even some of the background noise and overlapping hums, because, that's what real life sounds like. It's messy, it's unplanned, and it's honest. And slowly, these fragments of sound began to talk to each other. They began to form relationships I couldn't have predicted. That's when I started to hear it. I found the emotional heartbeat of the track. Now, it wasn't polished, it wasn't perfect, but it really did feel alive. But something still bothered me. Was this really music? Or was I just romanticising randomness? And that question haunted me for a bit, because we're taught that meaning comes from intention, from a deliberate act of making choices. And yet here I was, building something meaningful out of, frankly, accidents. Now, does that still count as art? You know what? After thinking for about a second, I decided I didn't care. The track started to come together, and I really liked where it was going. You see, serendipity isn't just randomness. It's alignment. It's moments of connection hidden in the noise. You have to be patient enough to notice them. And that's what this track became for me. A meditation on attention, on being open to the world around you, even when it doesn't fit your plan. And you know what's funny? When I listen back to the final song, it doesn't sound like something I composed. It sounds like something that just happened to me. A collection of human moments that accidentally found each other, like a late night conversation between strangers that you weren't meant to hear, but somehow you did. And now you can't stop thinking about it. That's the magic of serendipity. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. Creativity isn't always about making something from scratch. Sometimes it's about noticing what's already there. So the next time you're walking or scrolling or listening to Do Radio, don't rush, don't hurry on. Let yourself stumble across something unexpected, because you never know what conversation, what sound, what fragments you might find. And I'll now play the finished track to you. It's also available on Bandcamp. The link is down in the description. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Welcome to Miracles Happen Here.
And I've seen it happen, and it's joyous to watch, and it feels like play.
The label, those guys got set up in the studio. We need to set up. And so we're slowly
Show the structure. And, or both, cohesion or correlation. You eat an apple.
So steep. I didn't know what I did.
So everything's but I just couldn't.
And so the time to practice it is every.
Perfect place. Thank you so much. That's been.
So, is there hopefulness? Yes.
Oh, you just need to work harder and be more organised and sort yourself out. Journaling. I really enjoyed Big Magic. We need it. So if I'm having a really...
There's terror. Although she's an author I've long been interested in. And this one seemed to sort of jump out at me.
However, it's like, cool, we got infinite more radical shit to get in.
Who they are, but Seth, everybody's just been a miracle thing, and I love it.
So I could hear some language, but typeface revolution.
as well. So I don't know whether.
And welcome back to I Am Not Creative.
And where to next?
He had this idea that he must have
On the journey that I've been going on, it began with the desperation to like.
We want to walk the results. I'm like, I wonder who went.
It sounds so simple. Keep coming back to Enrica's words, be the light. It sounds so simple.
body out, and I promise you'll always feel better.
Jungle is a thing now.
I make shit up and have a good time and you used to have to need an engineering degree just to make sure you knew.
We need to do something with this. You know, we just can't keep making these tunes.
And I live a simple enough life at the moment, but I lived a simple enough life, to be honest, Rob, when I would have had a lot of money or whatever it may be.
My oldest son, Sam,
to making stuff up. Do you reckon? I'm your host. It's actually constructive.
How to find your place in the world.
I think one of the biggest.
Some of the work that you and I, even the where it will go, I don't know.
Here in Oxford, and I worked with Margaret Hefner here in Oxford, and I worked with Margaret Hefner here in Oxford, and
So this, and I'm going, falling and then something, and then things shifts. There's the invitation, and I'm going, and I'm just thinking.
Because I know.
Saying you can hurt. There's no hat.
Something also. If you're doing. It's a genuine curiosity.
John, if they go, it's
Tending to one another.
Get your heart broken. Paint. Work 1,000 jobs. More beauty, more connection, more love.